in this video, I'm going to talk about a homemade reaction board. Now, here is the one that you would buy in the shops, and here is the one that I've made at home, and here's another one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to do that, so stay tuned. So these are the boards that I've used, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I made them, and then we're going to go back and have a look at some of the exercises that you can do. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen and we're going to start making them. But before we start making them, what we want to do here is look at the type of ball that you should be buying. Now, first of all, this is the original. This is the ball that's called the reaction ball, and it's hard for you to see that, but it's actually it's a very solid ball. It's heavy and it's very solid. Now, I don't think that that's the kind of ball that you should be buying. So, first of all, let me tell you what you shouldn't be buying. These are two, obviously they're not balls, but this is obviously a die. And I bought this in one of the, like the pound shops, the 99-cent shops, whatever you want to call them, thinking, oh, this would be perfect. But it's not. It's a terrible thing to use for this because it just jumps in too many different directions. Now, this next one, you might think, oh, well, that's better, as I did. It's like shaped like an egg. It's quite solid. But again, when it hits the wall, it just bounces off in two stranger directions. So not these type of ones. All right, and the next ones that you shouldn't buy. Now this was a ball, and this is more like a super ball. I mean, I can't even deform it or in any way. So I cut this one and I tested it, and again, it's just too small and it's just too hard. It doesn't really do what you want to do. Now this next one is actually a ball for strengthening your wrist. Now I haven't used one of these, but I think that it would just be too soft. So you want to avoid this. So that leaves us with the balls that we want. Now these are sort of the two balls that I'm going to be using today, and they're quite soft, but they're quite firm as well at the same time. Now they're solid, and that sounds like an obvious thing to say, so you've got to make sure that these are solid. Another thing to talk about is they should be dark. It's very important that they're dark because I bought some sort of yellow and pink ones, and then when I used them, the contrast between the wall and the ball wasn't enough, and of course ideally you'd be using a black one because that's what the squash balls are. So these are the kind of balls that you need. So now let's actually start cutting them. Okay, so the first thing that I've got a normal cutting board, and I've got a bread knife. I found that the bread knife is the ideal one. And of course you want to be careful, just like with all cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a small amount off. All right, there we go. So, I mean, actually I'll call that quite a small amount, but that's quite a big chunk. And then what I'll do at a random angle is I'll maybe take a smaller piece off. And then again, I'll just go around, and I don't want to make it like a cube, so I need to be careful not to do that too much. I'm looking for randomness here. All right, so what I've got so far is I've got like these three, and in fact I've done a terrible job there because they're actually quite symmetrical. So then I'll just take another one off, and I've got one of these. Good. Now this next one I'm going to take off slightly less than I have done with these. So the first thing I'll take off is I'll take off the smiley face. Oh, poor chap, sorry about that. And then again, try not to get too symmetrical. I'll just try and take off a smaller piece there, and then maybe something slightly larger here. Now I've done another bad job because I've put them all on the same plane. So I'll just take. Now I should tell you that these balls cost me about 80 cents. So they weren't particularly expensive. So if I make a mistake, well, I can just go and get a few more. Okay, just a very small amount. All right, so that's how I made them. So let's go back and see my using them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually use them, and then we'll look at how you can do some different exercises. The first one I'm going to use is the proper reaction ball, and I'm going to show you why we shouldn't be using this one. Okay, let's go. Here's the other hole made of iron.
So here's the view from the wall, as it were. This is with the blue one, which seems to be better. If I throw, I'm looking to throw with both hands. Sorry, I'm looking to throw with both hands or catch with the other hand. Now, most of the time, it goes where you expect it, which is what you want, because you don't want the ball to go different places every single time, because that's not how it works. Now, what you'll notice is that I'm constantly on my toes, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to recreate the jump just before the ball is hit by the opponent, and then I go. Now, you don't have to catch with your left hand if you don't want to, but I'm just on a craze for using my left hand. Now, this is the other ball that I've used, and it doesn't seem to be as good. It seems to just bounce more or less straight. So what I'd probably do with this one is that I'd take it back to the kitchen and I'd cut it again.
Okay, so there we go. Homemade reaction balls. Hopefully that's been of use to you. It's very easy to use, they're very easy to make, and they're not very expensive at all. I mean, feel free to go and buy one of the expensive ones. I mean, you can probably get them for cheaper than the $10 that I paid. But this costs less than €1, and it's fun to make, so there you go. I've been using it a lot because I've had some problem with my shoulder, which means I can't actually hit the ball. So this is helpful to be able to keep your reactions. And in fact, let me tell you a quick story. I was hanging the washing the other day and I dropped the peg, and I managed to reach down and catch it before it fell into the floor. So if you need to improve your peg catching skills, this is definitely the exercise for you. So I'm hoping to make some more videos in the next couple of weeks, especially I'm looking towards making one called Touch. So we'll work on that soon. And thanks for watching, and remember, do something every day to improve your squash. See ya!